By now, I'm sure you know real estate prices are appreciating due to low inventory and low interest rates, which have combined to create a time that's simultaneously a great time to buy and sell real estate. But did you also know that some segments of the market have not seen this frenzied pace and appreciation, and we aren't even really talking about it? But we should be. My name is Ryan Ward, and I'm the broker and the owner of Premier Atlanta Real Estate. And on this channel, I help to educate buyers and sellers about all things real estate, both local to Atlanta, the suburbs, and to the national real estate market. If that's of interest to you, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, and you'll get notified when I post a new video like this one here. Okay, so most of us know that normally the real estate market favors one side more than the other. That is, it typically is either a seller's market or it's a buyer's market, and it's not both at the same time. And that's really what makes this real estate market more unique than others. In my opinion, it's both unsustainable and it's also unhealthy. It'll eventually have to change, and it's definitely a matter of when, not if. Also, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I don't believe that we're going to see a crash or a drop in prices anytime soon, but we will work back towards a balanced market. Eventually, interest rates and inventory will rise and the markets will stabilize. To really understand the market and what's going on, I think you have to break it down into three main segments. And the three segments are the single family detached homes market. That's just houses, in neighborhoods and suburbs all around the country that are detached from one another. And the attached homes market, that's your condominium and your townhome market. And also the third is the luxury market. And for our purposes here in Atlanta, that generally consists of homes over $1 million, although that's not even entirely accurate in and of itself. And it's a very nuanced real estate market, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of it in this video, as I don't think that's necessary for the point that I'm trying to make. So with that said, the part I think that most people aren't talking about but should be talking about is the very different conditions that currently exist between the detached and the attached housing market, and the reasons why they're so different right now. In the current environment, it's hard to talk about anything without first discussing the impacts of COVID. So whether COVID is a short-term condition that's going to end sometime in 2021, or COVID is the catalyst for cultural change in how people view homes as a component of their lifestyle, is something that can be debated as much as you want. But one thing is for sure: COVID and the economic policies implemented to deal with COVID have positively affected the detached market significantly more than the attached market. So much so that if there's going to be a decline in prices in the near future, you can bet that the attached market will be the leading indicator of that change. So to illustrate this, I decided to go and check on some things within our multiple listing service and pulled up some statistics to show you just how different these markets are right now. Frankly, I knew there were going to be some differences when I went in to do this, but when I actually looked at the numbers, I really couldn't appreciate just how entirely different these two real estate markets are running, in parallel with one another right now. So when I dug into it and I started trying to look at the differences, I saw that the average sales price for residential detached homes in December of 2020, which is the last full month of data we had, was $366,982 compared to $318,681 for December of 2019. That's an increase in price year over year of 15%. It's incredible. It's fantastic for homeowners, and it's also completely unsustainable for the overall economy. Now, on the other hand, when I pulled these same statistics for single-family attached home, remember that's your condominium and townhome market, in December of 2020, the average price was $299,314, and in 2019, that number was $291,158, and that was a 2.9% increase in prices. So the detached market had a 15% increase in prices, and the attached market was 2.9%. These two markets are not the same, and I'm going to be watching the difference in the two markets very closely every month for a while now, as this is where I believe we're going to see the first signs if there's going to be any significant change or any declines in the overall housing market. It's going to begin in the attached section. This shouldn't be complete news to you, because if you followed any of the national housing news over the past 6 months, you'd know that big cities like New York had significant problems in their condominium market, and they weren't the only city that had that problem, and it was rightfully attributed to COVID-19, lockdowns, working from home, and other changes related to the condition of COVID-19. Now, I say condition because currently that's what it is. It's a condition that's going to change as the vaccine is distributed and things will improve for everyone. It's quite possible that once this happens, some of the buyers that were looking for more space to work from home will once again seek the benefits of living in the city and start to move back. And if this happens, I think we would move back towards a more normal detached housing market, and the attached market will show more appreciation, which is going to help to bring both of these markets more in line with one another. That would mean that COVID hasn't created the cultural lifestyle change that some were predicting it would, and you've heard it before, and you know people suggesting that cities are doomed, nobody's ever going back to work. You've heard that this is a possibility. On the other hand, if there's been a permanent cultural and lifestyle change, we would see these two market segments continue to move in opposite directions, at least in the short term. Attached prices and sales could go from slight increases and begin to decrease. And this has already happened in some metro markets around the country, and if it happens everywhere, sales would then likely continue to rise in the detached market by about the difference between the attached and detached market, separating the two even more. Hopefully that makes some sense. I actually don't think that's what's going to happen, and I actually think that the answer is that COVID is both a condition and a temporary cultural and lifestyle change. I don't think that's permanent. You may disagree, and that's okay, I guess. I mean, I believe that once COVID is under control, I would think probably, going into the fourth quarter of 2021 at the latest, we're going to begin to move back to life as we knew it pre-COVID. It's just difficult to know exactly how quickly that's going to happen. If I had to guess, I would say that within a couple of years of having COVID under control, we're going to move back with our lives without really much, if any, continued impact on our lifestyle. We'll go back to the office. People will no longer seek to have two offices in their homes, and things will begin to go back to normal. If this is the scenario that happens as I just described, I still believe the overall real estate market will be able to weather any storm created by the job losses we've seen caused by COVID-19 and the economic downturn, in part because I think the current market is so unbalanced, and we're so much in a strong seller's market that we can weather the storm of some additional inventory, even from the foreclosures. And also because I don't believe that either political party is going to implement any policy that leads to a large number of those foreclosures. And also because interest rates remain low, and they're going to remain low at least through 2021. They may rise a little, but they're going to still remain near all-time historic lows, and that's going to ensure that sales don't drop off, if at all. All right, I hope you found this information of value, and I welcome any comments or questions you may have. If you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon, and you'll get notified when I post a new video like this one here.